Okay, so once you're ready to actually peer edit, you're going to find a whole peer editing post in the classroom stream. The first thing you probably want to do is find out who your partner is. So you'll open this kind of color-coded looking editing partners. What you're going to get is a spreadsheet, and it's organized by period. So you need to choose the correct period, and you're going to be editing with whoever the person is that has the same color as you. So in this case, it'll be Will and Ashley. Over here, it'll be Alexa and Jason. If there happen to be three of you, you're going to find a way to share kind of among all three people. So again, choose the right tab to find your class and then find your partner. Then the next thing you probably need to do in the classroom stream is open up this Steps to Peer Edit in Google Docs. You've done this before, but in case you aren't doing it in class after I've gone over it, you will just open up this assignment and it'll kind of walk you through what you want to do. So here I have my paper. I want to share my paper with my editing partner. In this case, my editing partner is going to be Mr. Belfiore. So I click share. I go in to find his name. Here he is. I select it. And then I want to make sure over here that he has editing options. So it's default set to that. I just want to double check to make sure that it is. And then you will send the paper on to your partner. Partners, once you get the papers, and the way to find that is to go into your Drive account and look up over here on your shared with me, and you should be able to find the shared document that you need to work with. It should be the first thing there. So you're going to open up your classmate's paper, and you're going to start by just reading it from the very beginning. If you need to take your computer out into the hallway or get yourself focused, even plug in your headphones so you can really kind of zone in on what you're doing, I encourage you to do that. Anytime you come across something that just doesn't quite sound right, or opposite of that, something that really, really works, you want to make sure that you highlight it and give the reader some sort of comment, like "this is a great claim," so that they have some sort of confirmation that they know that you've read their work. If you come across any spelling errors as you're going, you want to make sure it may just be worth your time to go into the Tools tab and choose Spelling and check the spelling errors throughout. You saw here that there were no spelling suggestions on the paper that I'm working with, which is great news. If you see any red squiggly lines that the writer has missed, then you need to go into that spelling option and fix those for them. So other steps to peer edit. What you're going to do once you get that document is you are going to look for, and it's number 9 here, all the things that I will eventually be grading it on. I care a lot about spelling and grammar. I care a lot about those in-text citations, that they don't start or end a paragraph. I care that for every quote that the person uses in their paper, they have a citation or something in parentheses after it that shows me where they got that information from. So I could go down and look for that in their works cited page. I also really care about making sure that the paper flows. So peer editors, you have a pretty significant job. You've got to start reading and get yourself focused enough that you can read this paper as one big, long, massive piece from beginning to middle to end. Ultimately, remember, the goal is that the person is proving their claim by the time they get to the end. So you definitely want to take a close look at what their claim is. So that's number 9 here in this peer editing piece of information, excuse me. And just make sure that as you're going, if you have questions or comments, things that you're really impressed with, that you add a comment and give them a little bit of feedback. So great idea here. Okay, so the person has a little bit of feedback from you. Doesn't have to be a ton, but again, you are their only set of eyes before it gets to me. When you've finished editing, what you're going to do is you're going to go back into the classroom stream, and you're going to open up this peer edit rubric. It's essentially the same rubric that I'm using, although it doesn't have excellent and on grade level and needs improvement. It just has a big empty box. So read the directions very carefully in this blue highlighted section, but what you're going to do is provide a couple of sentences of feedback to the reader so that they know that they are on the right track and focused with that area of the paper. So I think your hook was really great. It grabbed my attention. Wow, that's a crazy statistic. Give them something, right? So that they know that you read it really well. So these are the areas that I'm going to be focusing on when I grade, and I want you to give the person whose paper you have read a little bit of information and feedback on those as well. Before you go up here, remember my tab is a little bit different than yours. And before you go to turn it in, what you need to do with the peer edit rubric is actually share it back to the person whose paper you had. Once you're done with the peer edit rubric, the person whose paper you have graded and given a bunch of feedback to has a copy of the actual rubric itself. They may want to see what your feedback is and how they can improve it and change it before they actually turn it in. So again, please share your documents back with the person whose paper you've been looking at this whole time. Then finally, last but not least, you guys have the turn in button right here. I need you to please turn in and submit the peer edit rubric so I can just kind of get an idea of whose papers have been peer edited. You're going to get credit for peer editing a classmate's paper, and how well you pick up on the things that are challenges or need to be looked at before the paper gets to the final draft phase. Take your time, really read your neighbor and classmate's paper and ask them questions if you have it, or give them feedback again as you are working on the paper by doing the comment tab in the paper itself. Or if you'd like to make a suggestion, you could go up here and use the suggestion tab. Okay, so I think right here you may want to, and then give them some ideas. And then once you click out of that, what ends up happening is that it comes up in a different color font, which I think is great. It's magical that you could actually see the contrast between your writing and your classmates' writing. So peer editing is super important. I hope you all get a chance to do it. So you need to finish typing your papers as soon as possible. Thank you so much.